Hi everyone, Janie here. Welcome back to my garden. I am in my back garden today and I am a very happy girl today because there's always a difficulty in figuring out where to place a plant. You know, all plants have different requirements, sun requirements, moisture requirements, spacing requirements, all that kind of stuff. When you find a spot, a perfect spot for a perfect plant, everything just seems to kind of come together and you know it's going to be perfect. And that's where I'm at today. It's kind of like finding a perfect match when you find the perfect spot for the perfect plant. I know I'm saying perfect a million times, but it's just perfect. It's a perfect situation. So I am out in the back garden. There's the greenhouse, and here is our new wood-burning hot tub from Goodland. And there's a reason for me pointing it out. I'll show you in a second. And then we have this fence over here, and I have nothing on this fence. I had nothing planned for this fence. You know, there was nothing going on. My friend Katie came over, and we were talking about all the plants I had, and we thought this plant would be perfect along this fence, just mass planted. So this plant is a Summerific Hibiscus from Proven Winners. If you're not familiar with the Summerific series, get familiar. They have a Summerific week during the summer just to celebrate this fabulous grouping of plants. This one, my mom and I are very obsessed with. This is called Ballet Slippers. And the reason why we're obsessed is because of that bloom right there. That's a 7-inch wide bloom. The petals are shaped in kind of this pinwheel shape, and you can see the edge of the petals have this beautiful pinky color, and then it has this red eye. It is such a beautiful plant. So my mom and I were talking when in the beginning of the season I asked Proven Winners for some plants to send me to plant in my garden, and I asked them for 2 of the Ballet Slipper Hibiscus and they sent me 25. So what they did is they didn't send me the plants. They ended up sending me the rootstock, the roots, bare roots. And then I planted all of these up myself. So I gave a couple away. I gave some to my mom. I gave some to my friends, and I ended up with 20 of these gorgeous, gorgeous plants. So my friend Katie and I were talking, and we thought this would be the perfect space for them, because they need full part sun to full sun, and this is definitely going to get full sun. This is south facing. Yeah, this is the south facing fence, so it's definitely going to get some really good sun. And then it needs moist, well draining soil. So the more water you give these plants, the bigger and the more blooms you will have here. So here's where the hot tub comes in. The hot tub, this is a wood burning hot tub, and there's no chemicals to it. You don't put any chemicals to clean it. What you do is you drain it and you clean it out. So depending on how often you use it or whatever, you basically drain it. Here, I left the tubing out right here. And so as soon as you pull the plug, I mean, it's literally like a tub. You pull the plug and all the water comes out of this tubing right here. And so I thought, okay, well, I'm obviously going to use this extra water to water my garden, and I can put it into a watering can, or I could just take the hose over here and water all these Ballet Slipper Hibiscus, because they're gonna love it. I'm gonna put them on drip anyway, you know, regardless, just to make sure that they're getting a lot of water. And I'll put 2 gallon per hour drip emitters on, which means they're gonna get a lot of water. But then just having the excess water of this, they're gonna be so happy. So it was just a perfect situation. Right sun requirements, right water requirements for right here, and it's going to look beautiful. The Ballet Slippers Hibiscus gets about 4 feet tall and 5 feet wide. So these aren't spaced properly. I just came and I threw them out here. I need to get my measuring tape and space them properly. And then I have my big auger from Power Planter. This auger is the 7-inch wide auger, and these pots are the 5 gallon pots. So I'm going to have to kind of move this auger around to make a nice and big hole for them. But I think I think it'll be okay. I think this soil over here is going to be okay to grow in. So then as they grow up, they'll get about 4 feet tall, 5 feet wide, and they'll be covered with those beautiful pink blooms with the red eye. And I just think it's going to be the perfect thing right here. So now these are deciduous at the end of the season. Well, not at the end of the season. You leave them over winter, and then early winter, kind of around the same time, you cut back like your panicle hydrangeas, you come and you cut these down to about 6 inches. Like I always know it's like the first week of February is when I come out and I cut these down to 6 inches. And then they do take a while to sprout and come back. So it's obviously not an evergreen look. It's not going to be an evergreen look, but I think I'm okay with that. Maybe one day I'll add some more evergreen color onto this fence right here, but not having any plans at all for this fence and having these 20 ballet slipper Summerific Hibiscus that I've been caring for, it's perfect. It's just a perfect match. So then just as a reminder, I'm standing over in the shade garden, and basically we have a pathway of decomposed granite right here. So what the plan is as we come out here, we're going to extend the decomposed granite, and we're going to extend it all the way over to where the hot tub is. There is going to be a metal screen on the hot tub, but it's gonna be like a whole patio over that way. And then I think what I want to do is I want to continue this right metal edging. You can see there's kind of a garden bed. What would you call that? 3 feet, 4 feet wide garden bed. I'm going to continue it as it comes out this way. And so all on the right where the Summerific hibiscus are is going to be another garden bed. And then everything on the left is going to be the decomposed granite pathway or patio. So I don't know how long it's going to take for us to get the decomposed granite in, but that's kind of my plan. And so planting them right there, they're going to be in a garden bed anyway, so it's going to be perfect. All right, so step 1, well, I have all the plants laid out, but I want to space them all properly. And I'm going to space them about 4 feet apart, I think, so that they're going to touch as they grow up. They're going to get about 4.5 to 5 feet wide. So if I plant them 4 feet apart from each other, the edges will just touch, which I think will be perfect. So spacing them first, then I'll go through and I'll dig the 20 holes with my auger. I'll put some biotone starter fertilizer in, and then plant the plant. So I know it's a lot. It's 20 plants, but it's pretty simple. It's just kind of repetitive, same thing over and over again. So I don't know why I kind of feel like this is an easy project today. I'm sure I'm not going to be saying that in an hour, but let's get started. Okay, so tiny break. The auger drill is out of batteries, and that's my fault because I didn't put the battery back on the charger last time I used it. But that's okay. It'll charge pretty quickly. While I'm waiting, I'm going to come help Jason weed in the orchard, but I got to show you his new fancy accessories. Those are nice, babe.
I look cool.
You look super cool. You look like a gardener. We're wearing you down. Where did you get those?
Home Depot.
Home Depot? You like them?
Yeah, I like them better because you can just crawl around wherever you want instead of having to move the paddle all the time.
Yep.
It's convenient.
Yep. I have my knee pads in my overalls, my Duluth overalls that I love.
Yeah, it's a little bit cooler looking than my situation.
Do you think it's time for us to get a new umbrella too?
Works great.
Okay, I am all done. It looks fantastic. I ended up having 4 extra. So I started with 24. I've given away 4 of them. And then with the spacing that I had from that olive tree all the way over to this kind of living wall, I could fit 16 of them in, spacing them 50 inches apart. So I decided to do 50 inches apart. On the instructions, they recommend minimum spacing, I think, is 52 inches apart. Let me double check on that. But I just wanted to do, 52 inches apart. I wanted to do a little bit closer just to kind of shove them in together. But I don't really want any space in between. So anyway, I don't know what I'm going to do with these 4. I'm sure I'll find somewhere to put them. But I'm really happy with how these look. And again, they're going to get about 4 feet tall as well. So I think it'll look really pretty. It was a good reminder that the soil that I have not done the no-till method on and added 6 inches of compost is terrible in my garden. It just sucks. It's horrible soil. So what I ended up having to do is I took the hose and I pre-moistened every single hole first, I moistened it and then I waited about a half an hour, and that allowed me to get through this soil with the auger. But look at can you see how many rocks and the stuff are in this soil? And it just doesn't seem like the best soil. I'm sure it'll improve as I work with it and as I plant in it. But what I really want to do is I want to add even more compost to this whole area. We've done all of the orchard and all of the long border has compost in it. And then we've done over here, all of these no-till beds have compost in it, but that's it. And it's just a really, digging these holes back here is just a really good reminder that I can't forget, I still have more areas in my garden that I need to treat with compost. So I was just checking up our local landfill. They have a composting service, and from June 1st till October 31st, all the residents of my county can go and get free compost. So I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to do that. I'm not going to be using this compost for growing vegetables or anything like that. But for growing plants, I think getting the free compost is kind of the way to go. I mean, it's kind of what I'm doing with the wood chips. They're free. They're not exactly the best thing, but it's free and it allows me to get my garden to where I want to be. So I think Jason and I are going to be taking a trip to the county landfill pretty soon to get some compost, and I'll probably just spread it around here. So anyway, I'm going to hook all of these up to drip. Again, I'm going to hook them up with the 2 gallon per hour emitters. I just haven't gotten to that yet. I am completely a mess again. You can see my shirt. If you can see my pants, they were 5 gallon buckets plants. So they were really, really big. So to get them out, I was kind of hugging them. But that's okay. It's just been a messy week of gardening for me. I'm doing a lot of laundry lately. So that's the big project for today. It was a lot of plants and it was a big plants, but it wasn't that hard because it was kind of the same thing over and over again. So I'm going to get the drip emitters all set up right now, hook those on, and then I'm going to be done. And now I just have to wait for these to bloom. So I hope you all enjoyed this, and I hope you all have a chance to get in your garden today.